Now, not all of these are technically what I would consider my personal Younghood, but there's a good argument for all of these to be included that just creates that youngish, nostalgic-like feeling. You need this in your life. And therefore, this album, or rather EP, and its review should hopefully persuade you to give it a try. How's it going, everybody? Today we're going to talk about Younghood. This is the 8th EP released by Pogo. We're going to talk about that here today on Y.E.S. Believe it or not, this is actually the last EP that was released by Pogo before Unity, which was released last year that I reviewed. I really wanted to review something from Pogo because I just felt like the review I did of Cultures recently made me feel like I didn't appreciate his music as much. I did, I just didn't really buy into it as much as some of his other projects, which I really love. Some of them I'm just like head over heels for. And individually there are some songs in there that I can love a little bit more, so I'm going to talk about this EP because this one has a special place in my heart. Now, I know that in the past I've been a little skeptical about EPs because I just think that sometimes they're kind of an excuse just to throw out some music out there. And while you can find some winners out there on individual songs, I just find the concept of an EP mostly wasteful for most artists and for most genres. I'm coming to find that some genres pull it off better. This is just my personal opinion. But in this case with Pogo, I really don't think that there is really a huge flaw in here. This is a 5-track music project, and each one deserves your attention. And probably will get it if you really love animation or old-fashioned movies. Sometimes Pogo likes to mix multiple projects into one song. He can source multiple movies or multiple TV shows or, whatever it is that he's going to sample. But in this case, I find that most, if not all, of each song is from one particular project. And here I'm just going to go top to bottom. I think that's probably the best way to try and explain this EP. The first song in here is called Kermit Clouds. Evidently, Kermit the Frog from the Muppets. I don't think you can really criticize a lot of things that come with Kermit. I mean, he's just one of those really easygoing, happy-go-lucky kind of guys. He just wants to do good by everybody. Now, what does that mean for the song? Well, you kind of get the same vibe, to be honest. It just kind of is a very cute and just pleasant song to listen to. It's a song that's just warm. It makes you want to be happy. The next song is called Time Machine, which comes from Back to the Future. This one there's a good argument for this one to be the potentially most creative of the 5. I really enjoy the remixes that take place in this song, and it almost feels like there's actually verses, kind of, for this song. It feels like 1, 2, 3, kind of just feels like it's purposeful in the way that the song continues to progress, sampling different parts of the movie, sampling different voices, trying to make it seem like there is a progression that's leading to a high point. The third track in here is called I Want. Now, this one is what I would consider, out of the 5, not overall, but out of these 5, just maybe the one I connect with the least, and I mean that in the most minute way. This is a song that at first I didn't connect to. This samples Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, not the new one with Johnny Depp. This is the older one. And it just kind of feels like it didn't take as many of the elements as I think could have been highlights from that movie. But sometimes Pogo actually does that on purpose. He utilizes different moments to actually create music. He's not just taking the most quotable things or the most interesting sound samples out of there that he can. He's actually trying to create, construct, compose a song. And this one, after a few listens, I've heard this one multiple times, but after a few times, you kind of just get used to it. It's like, oh, you know what? This actually sounds okay. It doesn't have maybe the highlights I think are in that movie, but it's a good song. The fourth track is called Nicey, Nicey. Now, this samples The Mighty Boosh. This is a British comedy TV series that I have never watched. And I don't know when, if I'll ever get around to it. It looks really bizarre, but the sounds in here work amazing. Like, supremely good. If you watch his, clipped music video that puts it together, you're going to think, like, who are all these wacky characters? And how does something that I have never watched before make me feel like I'm connecting with it? It's probably just the style of that kind of TV show and, the style of the editing and production. Something about it makes me think, I buy into this. I can enjoy this. There's a little bit of not take yourself so seriously kind of edge with it. And that kind of describes me in a way. So I think I bond with it in that regard. I'll have to see if the TV show is actually any good. I'm not sure. But I have a great time listening to this song. It's one of my surprising favorite songs to be able to just go back to. If I need a Pogo song, I can remember this one pretty good. And the last track in here is called Mix E. Yes, it samples Wall-E. It also will confuse you a little bit because if you're also fans of Hello Dolly, it samples a lot of that in there too, which also happens to be in Wall-E. So it's kind of like you're getting 2 in 1. So, you just gotta deal with the excuse in that regard. But if you've seen the movie, you already know it's really not an excuse. It's a little slow building if I'm being honest, but I would say by the end of its progression, you've enjoyed it. There's something about it that makes you think, "Aw, that was cute." Now, Pogo's music I can play anytime. This album as a whole, if I had this on a late night drive, I could actually play on repeat probably a lot because that is the mood that this particular EP really gives me. And especially right now, dark night winters, if you have to drive, I think this can give you a little bit of solace, a little bit of comfort, something that just makes you think like, maybe if I get home, I'm just gonna warm up with a good hot chocolate and maybe watch a really old classic movie or something from my childhood because these songs reminded me of the good times right there and I just need a break from the world. I think that's really what Pogo's music does best, and an EP like this is an excellent example of that. So, after having listened and reviewed this EP, I'm going to give production an A+, creativity an A-, expression and lyrics an A, and this gets yes! Not sure how many times you're going to see me say that about an EP in particular, but I have to give it credit. It did its job. It did what it needed to do. If you're going to release a small music sample for the public, make sure it's excellent. This is one of those prime examples. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please follow me in my social media links down in the description below, and be sure to leave a like for the video, as well as a comment down below if you want to engage with me. And remember, if you want to discover, promote, and review the best in entertainment, be sure to subscribe to this channel so you can get that yes in your life. See you next time.